Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis. Here are some updates from Ukraine. I'm in a village quite far away from the Kiev, which was that center with a hotspot fighting for a long time. However, just 3 days ago, Russia announced that they retreat some part of their troops from Kiev Oblast. However, it's not they're willing to do, it's what they have to, because our army fights really hard and we force them to retreat. And just recently Gostomel airport was freed from those occupants, and I have a mate, his name is Antonov. He's also a pilot and YouTuber. He's the chief pilot of Antonov Airlines, and he was able to go inside Gostomel airport and actually was able to film what happened, what devastation Russia brought to the aviation of Ukraine. So the Maria Antonov 225 was destroyed, but there are some parts of that airplane left intact, like empennage, wings, and some of the engines. So probably we will be able to restore that plane because we have the fuselage of other Maria that wasn't really built, and that fuselage goes with wing root. So probably with help of that fuselage and with some parts left from Antonov 225, we'll be able to build some new airplane. Of course, world aviation community will help us to do it. And the best news I have so far is, according to our media that I trust to, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was freed from Russian occupants and we put our own Ukrainian flag on top of it. Yes, my friends, there is no more threat of nuclear fallout from Chernobyl station, because if you don't know, there are some of the nuclear reactors still active in Chernobyl station, so it's a big threat still. That is why we need to cover this Chernobyl nuclear station with this big covering. By the time the Russians were in that Chernobyl area, they started to do very stupid things. They wanted to protect themselves against the shells coming from Ukrainian army, and they started to dig the areas where the red forest, so-called red forest, is located. Well, the red forest we call it because of the significant radioactive materials just went through the air after a nuclear reactor explosion long time ago. The trees leaves turned to the red, and actually we have to bury this wood to the ground. So the soldiers, the Russian soldiers, they start to dig the roads, and they actually dig to this red forest, gaining the radioactive to themselves, and now most of them in the hospitals of Belarus. Stupid way to win the Darwin Award. Well, my friends, I hope the situation there improves, and me personally, I hope I'll be able to go back to my home. However, I have the application on my phone tell me about the airstrikes possibility, so I have so many warnings. So per day I have like 4 up to 5 warnings, so it's a lot for me to go back to Kiev or nearby cities. So for now, probably gonna spend a couple of weeks here in the village. Russia says that it's gonna concentrate their forces on the south and eastern part of Ukraine, but our army will fight them back. I'm sure about it. We're gonna win this war no matter what. We don't have other options because we are fighting for our land, for our homes. The worst place for now still is Mariupol. There are thousands of civilians still trapped in that city. The Russians, they are bombing it, they are dropping bombs, they are launching their rockets, severe devastation, causing the severe devastation to the city. There are none of the buildings that were not hit by the Russian strikes, but our army, our forces are still in that city fighting as hard as they can. And according to recent news, Turkey want to participate into evacuation of our civilians, and they want to send some ships into that area because there is the Black Sea just on a shore, so they want to evacuate our civilians to Turkey and then sending them to Ukraine. So I hope the negotiations will go on, and civilians will be brought to safety from that city. I have a friend who was in that city, and he said it's a hell on earth. He successfully evacuated in Zaporizhia, and now he's in Odessa. He's a volunteer. He's collecting the funds and all of the things that are needed to army. So we have volunteers working all around, and you may also support our movement, our resistance, if you go to the links to Patreon or to my PayPal. All of the funds from PayPal are going to buy the surveillance drones for our army, and half of the money for Patreons goes from my Patreon goes to support children of war who lost their parents and who also got injuries. So my friends, you may also participate into helping Ukrainian people, and also me, because half of the money from Patreon I leave for me, because I lost the income that I have had on my job. Sorry about it, but I have to also to support my family. So the YouTube is the only source that I have to sustain my living. What else? Wow, we have a sunny weather here. It was rainy this night, but the last night there were some news from Russia as well. It was the helicopter attack on oil storage facilities, which is around 30-40 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border. And in some news, some of the Russian news, they say that Ukrainian helicopters attacked that place, but you know, they are they are like blackmailing themselves, because just imagine our helicopters went across the country border for 40 kilometers into the Russia territory that should be protected by their anti-air facilities, like anti-air missiles or something. But helicopters, they are not stealth fighters. They are big, clumsy, noisy, and you can actually shut down those with anything you have, even with sometimes with RPGs. So they successfully passed the border. They attacked the oil storage and came back. Well, if Ukrainians did so, wow, I'm really impressed about our army, because Russia anti-air protection were just foolish. They do not exist if they allow this thing to happen, because the helicopter is the very easy target for any kind of anti-air system. So they are not saying in their media that really it was Ukrainian attack. They say, okay, Ukraine attacked some part, but really there was a huge fire on their oil storage. So probably they did it on their own, or maybe even Ukrainians, who knows. And yeah, we'll see in the future how the situation develops, but their media, they are not putting attention on that topic, that oil base was destroyed, because they probably do not want their anti-air defense to look like really stupid. My friends, thank you very much for watching this channel. Denis Davidov, it's my real name, and here I put everything how I understand it. So I may be wrong, I may be right, but I believe that I'm mostly right than wrong. So what you need to do now is to follow the awesome guy checklist. Basically, subscribe to my just like this video. After that, subscribe to my channel and ring the bell, whatever it means. Thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great time.